If you're looking to improve your captain picks this season, then you've come to the right place. Whether it's to boost you up your mini leagues, your overall rank, or your points in general, as you can see on the screen, this method is tried and tested. I started doing it after the restart last season, and now we've got a game week streak of 6. Salah did really well last week. He got 16 points. We did mention that he's on penalties, and that edged him over Mane, as well as his goal and assisting output as well. But he did pretty well last week. He got an extra cheeky bonus point as well. This week on the shortlist, we've got 4 players all from the Manchester clubs. I really like the fixtures for the Manchester clubs this week. You've got Sheffield United and West Brom, who both have poor defensive records. We're going to have a look at that later on in the video. Anyway, so we've got Kevin De Bruyne. He's only got 3 points per 90 minutes. He's kind of underperforming a little bit. We know he can do more than that. He's the assist king, so we can trust him in that area. He's got twice as many assists than anyone else on the list as well. The next player is Bruno Fernandes, and he's the only United player on the list. He's got 5.1 points per 90 minutes, which is pretty good. He's also got 9 goals this season. We've got Riyad Mahrez, who has the least minutes on the list. It could actually work in his favour with his fixture congestion that he played an hour in his last match, but he's also a bit more risk of a rotation as well, and we can see that from his minutes. And last of all, we've got Raheem Sterling. He costs 11.5 mil, and for that price he is underperforming this season. He's matching up to his underlying stats though, and we know that he does have the ability to score some goals and get some assists, and that's why he's on the list. Looking at the underlying stats, De Bruyne and Sterling both have 0.33 for the non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes. Fernandes takes the lead on the expected assists per 90 minutes with 0.41, only 0.01 ahead of De Bruyne though. Sterling really lets himself down in this department, and Mahrez is pretty decent overall. As you can see, De Bruyne wins the non-penalty expected goal involvement per 90 minutes, and he does take penalties as well, which is a benefit. But we've got to remember that Aguero is coming back into the side, so he's not quite guaranteed them penalties at the minute. We know Aguero's probably not fit enough to play 90 minutes, but that reduces the penalty appeal for De Bruyne. Fernandes probably will take penalties for United though, and obviously Mahrez and Sterling won't be taking penalties for City. We all know Fernandes' goals per 90 minutes is defined by his penalties. He has been finishing pretty well this season though as well. But obviously United get a lot of penalties, and that's fine to use that as a factor. We can't use it to make the decision, but it is always there. We have to consider it. De Bruyne has been on penalties, but his goals per 90 minutes is lower than anyone else on the list by 0.11. On the other hand though, he is the most creative player on the list. Fernandes does have pretty good stats for creativity as well this season, whereas Mahrez and Sterling are pretty low. Both of their opponents, Sheffield United and West Brom, have had terrible defensive records this season. We know City and United can get a lot of goals, so that's why they're on the list. Sheffield United only have a 12% chance of getting a clean sheet, but is 6 times higher than West Brom's chance with 2%. Now if you look at that with some extra perspective, that is only 1 in 50 chance. The Baggies are the worst in the league for the goals conceded this season. They are also second worst for the expected goals conceded as well. The Blades are 4th worst for both, which isn't much to shout about either. Plus they haven't kept a clean sheet all season, which is in contrast to last season where they were actually pretty tight at the back. I think we're seeing now that Henderson really did make a difference to that defence. Based on the probability, Raheem Sterling has the best chance of getting a goal on the list. He has a 50-50 chance according to the odds, and we do need to apply slightly more weight to the goals rather than assists because they all get 3 points for the assist and 5 points for the goals, with them being midfielders. As expected, KDB has the highest chance of getting an assist on the list. In fact, he's the most probable to get a goal or an assist this week. Fantasy Football Hub's predictions and Fantasy Football Fix's points projections both say that he'll probably get the highest amount of points this game week. As you can see that the Hub are slightly more strict with the points projections, whilst Fix are slightly more lenient. That's just how the algorithms work, but they're both still pointing towards Kevin De Bruyne. Okay, so we've got enough information now to make a decision. This player has the best non-penalty expected goal involvement per 90 minute stats on the list. He has the best assist per 90 minutes record. He faces the worst defence in the league. He's the most creative player. He might still be on penalties, and he has the best chance of getting a haul. So this week, the best captain is Kevin De Bruyne.